Hello, I'm Jasmine and I'm a taxidermist, which means I make sculptures of animals using the skin, fur and feathers of animals that have sadly passed away due to natural causes. I do this by preserving the skin of the animals and then building a sculpture of the muscular structure of the animal and putting the skin on top of this sculpture. For my mammals, I make a binder using wood wool, which is made from fine slithers of wood. I wrap this around a wire frame. I then wrap cotton thread tightly around the wood wool to build up the muscles of the animal. You can see standing on my desk a mink binder watching me. Using the bind-up process, I make the main body of the animal and then I make all of the limbs and the tail. I then use the real skull of the animal and attach this to my binder. This is a rabbit binder, and this is what the final sculpture looks like before I put the skin on top. The eyes are made from acrylic plastic or glass, and the muscles underneath the face, inside the ears and the feet are all built underneath the skin using clay. So I thought we could have a go at making a binder using things you might have at home, such as cardboard, newspaper, brown paper magazines, tissue paper, scissors, paintbrush, pencil, string or cotton thread, PVA glue and paints. So I'm going to show you how to make a rabbit binder out of paper. First, we need to think about the shape of the head and body of the rabbit. And then we need to draw this out onto a piece of cardboard. And then cut it out with your scissors, getting an adult to help you if you need one. Then take your newspaper, newsprint, tissue paper, whatever material you've got that you can scrunch up to build up the shape of the rabbit. Scrunch it up into little pieces and start to build up the shape of the rabbit, using your cotton thread or string to wrap around the paper to keep it in place. Remember to think about the shape of a rabbit. It's got a slightly wider back and bottom end and a smaller head. Once you've done one side, start to build up the other side until you eventually have the shape of the body and head of the rabbit. And then we need to make some back legs so that the rabbit will stand up. So if you place your body onto another piece of card and draw around the bottom, you'll know how wide the legs have got to be. So I've drawn a circular shape of the bottom of the rabbit, and then I'm going to draw two legs to create a U shape. And then I need to cut it out. And now we need to make some front legs for the rabbit. So if you lie the body of your rabbit on the card, you can line it up to see what size the legs should be, and then draw a rough shape like this of the rabbit's leg. You can always have a look at an image of a rabbit if you're not sure what shape the front leg is. Once you've drawn round the leg, cut it out, and then you can use this one to draw around to cut out your second front leg. So now you should have two front legs and one U shape for the back legs. Now we need to build up some structure on those legs. So on one side of the U shape, I want you to build up just the fronts of the legs, not at the bottom where we're going to stick the card to the body, but just on the two legs that will stick out underneath. I want you to put bits of paper scrunched up like before and then bind them round with your cotton thread or string. Once you've done one leg, do the other one. And then we need to do the front legs. Again, scrunch up pieces of paper, newspaper, whatever you've got, and wrap the cotton thread around it to build up some shape on the outside of the arm. When you're doing the front legs, just do one side of the cardboard shape, because we're going to stick the sides without any of the bind up paper on to the body itself. Now we need to glue these on. So first, if you take the back legs and just put a big blob of PVA glue on the back of the card, and then stick this to the underside of the rabbit. This will help the rabbit stand up and it will create the shape of the back legs. And then using your cotton thread again, bind the legs onto the body. And this should be nice and strong. Now we need to do the front legs. When placing the front legs on, you might want to have another look at the image of the rabbit, just to decide where the front legs are going to go. When I'm doing taxidermy, I always have to look at a lot of reference images of the animal I'm working on to make sure that I'm getting the animal as correct as possible and looking as realistic as I can. So stick on your front leg, and again, like you did with the back legs, use your cotton thread to wrap round the arm and hold it in place. And then do the same on the other side. Now we need to make some ears. So if you get a piece of card and draw out your ears, you can use the body of your rabbit to hold them up to the drawing just to see if they're about the right size. Draw 2 ears. If you're not sure about the shape of the rabbit's ears, you can have a look at your photograph of the rabbit again, and then cut them out. And then you need to bend some shape into these ears, so just use your fingers to curl the ears round so they look more like a rabbit's real ears. And then we're going to glue them on. So use your PVA just to put a blob of glue on the back of the ear, and then you can use a little piece of your newspaper, newsprint tissue paper that you've been making your bind up with, just to stick over the ear, just to hold it in place. Once you've done one ear, stick on the other one. And then that's the main structure of your bind up rabbit finished. Now, if you want to, you can use more of the newspaper or tissue paper that you've been using to build up a skin on your rabbit so that we can paint them. I'm just ripping little pieces of paper up and sticking it on with the PVA glue all over the outside of the rabbit. Then if you leave your rabbit overnight to dry, the next day you should be able to paint it. You can use any paints that you have at home. This is Yanni, and he's helping me to paint my rabbit. Like the photograph of the rabbit I showed you at the beginning, we're using brown paints to build up the fur. But don't forget, you could use any colours to paint your rabbit. Also, once you've finished your rabbit, don't forget that you could use this process again to make any animal you like. If you choose a photograph of an animal and cut out the main shape of the body and head, you should be able to build up a bind up using paper at home in the same way. And this is my finished rabbit. I can't wait to see what you make. Please share your makes with us using the hashtag HastingsDigitalMuseum.